Hi and welcome to our 30 students in 3 days workshop. Very excited to be with you this week. I'm your host, Katie Cannon. I'm the founder of Gold Medal Business, and I thought it was really important just before we're about to go live to share with you a little bit about my journey, because if you're anything like me, anyone I want to learn from to take me to the next level of my business, I want to know they've been there, done it, and they got the t-shirt. I've been in this industry for nearly 20 years now. I started in 2008 and I was very much a gymnast. I was a British champion for 5 years, did 2 worlds, 2 Europeans, and over the last 20 years have had every experience within this industry. I've had experience with the franchise model. I've had a network of over 100 after school and curriculum classes in schools. I've had village halls, I've had leisure centres, I've had permanent premises. I've shut down permanent premises. I've also had amazing experiences with building teams and bad experiences with teams, and everything in between, from systems, customers, processes, anything you can think of, I've done it. And one of the things of why I really believe what makes Gold Medal so special in the marketplace today is I not only train you from 20 years of experience, I'm also still in the market. Say I opened a brand new facility last week. So I not only train you from 20 years of experience, but also what's working now, what worked for us literally last week, and how are we going to help our clients achieve that, and what results. And that is why I really believe we get the results we do with our clients. Now, apart from business, I'm also a mum of 3. I've got a 10-year-old daughter and 2 boys, 6 and 2. And I share that with you because I'm all about business and family. I don't want you to build a business that absorbs every ounce of your time, and by the end of it, you built a phenomenal business, but there's nothing else around you. That is not what we're about at all. We're wanting you to create balance, flexibility. Yes, of course, different seasons of your life are going to have different strengths and it's going to look different. But in general, you're creating a life and you're creating a great business alongside it. So that's a bit about my background, and we're going to get to know each other very, very well over the next couple of days. What you can expect in the next 3 days together, we're live for an hour each day. If you cannot make the recording, if you cannot make the live stream, we are on record. So we have multiple different time zones tuning in. If you can be present and live, that's when we are going to be given some really great bonuses. So do what you can this week to be live. You'll get so much more out by asking questions whilst we're live. So do what you can. Doesn't matter where you are, just do what you can to be live with us. But this week is all about setting you up for 2026 and making sure 2026 is an incredible transformational year for you. We're going to be teaching you the real fundamentals that you need to be having and the foundations that you need to be having in your business to really grow strong this year, as well as multiple years in the future. So come ready to learn, be inspired, and really ready to have a real fresh approach and a fresh eyes and fresh mindset on your business. I'm so excited to be working with you this week. Let's get started. Okay, welcome everybody. The video and audio wasn't syncing quite right, that was it? It was like watching my face, we're all over the place. Welcome everybody to day 2 of our 3 days to 30 students. If you were here yesterday, give me a high five, put your camera on, give me a wave, because I love to see lots of happy smiley faces looking at me, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, tuning in wherever you are. Would love to hear, what was your biggest takeaway? If you joined us yesterday on day 1, we were talking about our first step system in enrolling 30 students in 3 days, was all about your external marketing, a really key, obviously important part to pulling new students through and into your business. So thank you so much. Adil, metrics was the biggest takeaway from yesterday for me. Adil, thank you so much for sharing. Do you know what? I must have had metrics about 30, 40 times on socials when I looked at all the, if you see me looking in different places, I'm just trying to make sure I get to everybody after the call yesterday and went through all of people's feedback. So metrics is a big one. Metrics in your business in general is a massive one. So I'm really pleased. We also had real big light bulb on content system, really not putting all your strengths into organic marketing, not being afraid to actually spend on Facebook ads, trust the process, knowing when you're actually ready for Facebook ads and knowing when it's okay not to be ready for Facebook ads. So just as well, it's okay to be, as long as you know why, it's okay not to do something. You can't do everything in one go. And just like I said yesterday, like we're talking to lots of different businesses, but also lots of different levels this week. We have people who are brand spanking new to the business and people who have been in the business 10, 15 years and are now looking to start franchising. You're all at different stages of your business. So everything I talk about this week, some of it you're going to implement straight away. Some of it you're not going to have the brain space or the capacity or the team to do that just yet. So said yesterday was all about very much external marketing. So this week we are teaching you the system we teach with all of our mentees at Gold Medal Business, and that is our 2-step system to marketing. Now each step has quite a lot within it, but it helps you in your brain differentiate the importance of the both camps. So often, and why I've designed this training this week for you in this way, is so often I see one part being done. Normally people do the front end pretty well. The parts we're talking about today and tomorrow is the bits, especially when you're a small team, very often get left to the wayside. Definitely from my experience over 20 years in business, that's exactly what happened. But I want you to give you the time and the space this week to start putting that into your business, even if you are a team of one, that you can still pay attention to this, because all the time we see in external being done really well, because straight away your mind is, oh, my clients, I need more trials, I need more students. Where do we go? We straight away think online traffic, local traffic. And I just wanted to touch on that quickly because I ran out of time yesterday. And when I watched the recording, I realized I did not mention this. I didn't yesterday go through, obviously we talked about the metrics around Facebook and Instagram ads and really keep making sure you're building efficiently online and maximizing them. We talked about your content system and organic growth. And we talked about live streaming. I don't want you to forget, I didn't touch on this because I don't have time this week to share this, but I didn't touch on local networking. Now, leaflets are just as powerful as they've always been. So don't think just because I didn't mention that yesterday, you don't need to do that. I actually had a question on that, which reminded me. So thank you so much, Sam, for pointing that out to me. Is still do leaflets. In fact, as I said, we opened a brand new premises last week. What did we do? We reached out to all the local primary schools and we've got leaflets in all of their book bags and on PDFs going out in their newsletters. Every area is different. Sometimes they allow you to do leaflets, sometimes they don't. All of our areas are different as well. So don't overlook the lovely, simple leaflet. Don't go door to door. That doesn't work. Do not spend your money or time on that. In fact, I remember in the really early days, obviously insanely eager, on the 2nd and 3rd of January, going round to give out leaflets to one of our new venues, going around the houses. It was snowing and icy. That's how eager we were, and going around doing the leaflets. Now, we won't do that anymore, but we will give it to local community, local centres, schools, wherever our direct client is. So just because I didn't mention, that's still local traffic. Local community is still very much part of your external marketing, but I wanted to focus on the 3 biggest ones, which obviously are all about building online. So please don't just forget that one. They are still work, but like everything, all of what I'm teaching you this week, it's not going to be like, as I said, yes, it's not going to generate 30 students in 3 days just like that, but I'm giving you the tool belt to be able to go whenever you need 30 students, whether you need 60 students, whether you need 200 students, you have the tools to go, yep, I know what we've got to do, but it's not a magic unicorn. We're not just going to pop it out there and hope for the best and keep our fingers crossed and do it for 5 days and let's go. It's a plan that you're following 365 days of the year. It's all part of your marketing plan, which is why we talk. So I spent a lot of time yesterday talking about that in your content system, because your marketing plan, your content system is vital, absolutely vital. And that's one reason why it's one of the bonuses this week, because you get that nailed. You will take so much weight off your shoulders for the year, because it's all organization. It's all anything you can do to help with your consistency will build your business. So today we're going to be talking about internal marketing. So our system is two parts: external, generating the client coming into your business. They don't know about you. You need to put on your shop front, online, offline, come to us. This is what we do. Now they come into your community. So internal marketing is broken up into a few sections. So today we're going to be talking about section 1, which is all about building that personal connection and going the extra mile. Section 2 is all about reactivation. And section 3 is all about renewals. Okay. And then day 3, tomorrow, we're going to go referrals and retention. Now, I'm just going to touch on that before I go to build, our step 1 today on personal connection and enrolling system, is because when we talk about the 4 R's, your reactivation, your renewals, your referrals, your retention, they are all things we've heard of. As I said yesterday, this week is nothing new. I'm not teaching you something most likely you've not heard. I'm just positioning it for you in a way that is different in your mindset, in a way that you can build it consistently. It's all about the fundamentals. These key things, the 4 R's, reactivation, renewals, referrals, retention. They're all key things. We think, oh yeah, of course I want my clients to come back to me. Of course I'm going to do a renewal fee. Of course I'm going to reactivate old members. But believe me, after working with hundreds of clients and myself included over the years, most of the time we put energy on the front end and we put so much focus on getting new people in that everything internally goes because there's no time and the systems and processes aren't in place. We all know we should be doing it. And if you're anything like me, so please share the love and make sure I'm not alone here. When I started, I thought I'd be like, let's just do a bit of a referral campaign. I'd send out a bring a friend leaflet or a bring a friend flyer, letter, whatever the case may be, and hope for the best. That's not good enough. That's not going to cut it, which I quickly realized. So that is what we're going to be covering a lot when it comes to internal marketing this week, because I see so many people all the time. Yeah, I'm so pleased I'm not alone. We just hope for the best. Just wing it, throw it out there. But as I said, when you're building your marketing campaign, your content campaign, it's all of these things. Think of yesterday when I talked about your content campaign through organic growth. I talked about 3 things. I talked about ensuring you've got campaigns, you've got events, and you've got team on there and scheduled throughout the year. There's a reason for that. I'd say anything you make money from in your business, any income stream is a campaign. So if you think, right, what's our retention campaign? What's our renewal campaign? What's our reactivation campaign? What's that going to look like? It's a campaign, meaning in your head, it's a bigger deal than just one thing going out. Like a campaign might be 3 or 4 days, but it's a case of multiple different touches, which I'm going to go through today and tomorrow for you. So I wanted to touch on this, and it's a massive part of growing your student numbers, if not more important than external, because many people don't do this, is we get the clients in and we almost forget about it. We're like, oh, thank goodness. Let's put all our budget on the front end. And yes, significant part of your budget needs to be. But if you want to improve your student numbers, it's just as important internally as it is externally. Why? You don't want to be spending all the budget on the front end and then they're coming in and it's a right shambles on the back end and you've got nothing in place to help keep. And of course, if your classes are phenomenal, they're going to retain. But if you change staff, if they don't like the systems, if they're not getting communication, the customer service is crap, they will find slowly but surely they're going to wither. Okay. So you can spend so much money on the front end and then you've got leaky buckets everywhere internally. So it's just as important to focus on front end and back end, external, internal, just as it is just focusing on the front end, because otherwise you're just throwing money at the front end. And this is where, when I strip back and I work with a lot of clients on a one-on-one basis and I'm stripping back businesses, I see the gaps, I see the holes. I'm like, you're losing so much money. You must stop your campaigns, stop your Facebook ads, strip it back. Let's sort out. You've got money sitting on the table with you. You're just looking here. I normally pull out a good 15, 20% of income that they can't see because you're too close to it. That's the power of a mentor, because you're too close to your business. You can't see the wood through the trees, as it were. Yeah. My mentors do the same to my businesses because I'm too close to it. Yeah. So You have to put as much focus on internal as you do external. So step one on internal marketing is your enrollment follow-up. So I'm a massive, massive believer on half automation, half personal connection. So you need to make sure you've got an enrollment system all fully established, that when, if you're doing ads, if you haven't got any kind of enrollment system running, that is automation. Do not do ads, because you're going to lose too much money without the automation. If you haven't got an enrollment system set up, I just want you to comment enrollment in the chat box or on our live streams, because actually that's one of the first things we teach you within the Silver Mentorship, which I launched yesterday for you. So we're massive on systems, we're massive on processes, because that is what's actually going to retain your members and build your student numbers. It's all from the ground up. Your enrollment system should have a hybrid of automation and personal connection. The personal connection is the part that's going to separate you completely from everyone else's market. So we have a sales team and they're on the phone. They have gone in through maybe our Facebook ad, or they've gone in through another form, and they've been nurtured through emails and text. That's automated. They then get a phone call welcoming them, inviting them to book a trial, talk to the client. Yes, I said talk to your client. Sometimes we automate everything. We think, oh, the robots will do it. Fabulous. I'll sit back. The robots will do it. But in today's market, to get ahead of the game, to know that this is going, we're working with parents, we're working with children, guys. That personal connection, that deeper level. They're not just buying a random product for 20 quid. They're your child is going to come to you. So always be offering. Some parents won't never pick up the phone. We have parents all the time that are just booking through pure automation and never want to speak to us. Fantastic. But the other 50% do want to speak to us. So that personal connection straight away when they come into your world as part of your internal marketing section is crucial. Build trust, build connection. And thirdly, it will really help on conversions. Your sales team will need to have this in place, or if it's just you, if you're a team of one, you could just do an hour a day of phone calls, reaching out, who's come into your world, who's looking to book a trial, who's had a trial that wants to enroll. Pick up the phone, go the extra mile. And you're going to see this very much weaved through our training over the next couple of days. In today's world, in 2026, yes, we know automation is powerful. You need it 1 billion%, but you need to ensure you're going above and beyond. You're going the extra mile. How are you standing out? We talked a bit about competition yesterday. How are you standing out? How are you making yourself stand out in your marketing? How are you connecting with that person on the phone? What do you do differently that they don't do? And I can guarantee my children do multiple, from football, gymnastics, swimming, street dance, tutoring. I guarantee all 5 of those, apart from one, and I'm talking about the gymnastics because I've trained them on this, no one else calls us. I've never had any phone calls, or it's all been email. And luckily, I'm a parent. Quite frankly, I don't have many questions. I know exactly what my child wants, because they've said, I want to do this. I don't need to do six different activities to find out what they want to do. They've told me, yep, I want to do that, and off we go. I personally don't have the time to be picking up and asking questions. I know what I want to answer. I can get that done through an email. But there are many parents that aren't like me, that might be their firstborn. By the third, I think by 2-year-old, by the time, like, yeah, anything, here we go. But they might be a real anxious parent. They might have loads of questions. We all know those parents, where sometimes you're like, is that not obvious? But it's clearly not to them. All right. So steps number 1 in our internal marketing section is your enrollment system has to have an element of personal connection mixed with automation. You do this, you go the extra mile, speak to your customers, know them, ask them. I hear my sales team, one in particular the other day, said, they said, they were following up on a client. And in the notes of the client, it said the client had just had twins. It wasn't the right time. Please call back in 6 months, da, 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 da. And I heard them call back, and they literally were like, how's the twins? How are you feeling? And I was like, I was so proud of them. I was like, oh gosh, fantastic, doing what I'm teaching. And that then turned into a sale, because they'd followed up. We all know follow-up is king in business. They didn't just assume, they come back when they want and they're getting in touch with us. No, we've written notes under their account. Call back in 6 months' time. Just had twins. So straight away, lead to conversation. That person on the phone was very friendly, very happy. We'd remembered them, and off they go into booking a trial, into enrolling. Perfect scenario on knowing your client. Last night, I took Amelie, my 10-year-old, to the hairdressers. We haven't been for about a year. I suddenly realized she's got beautiful curly hair. I was like, gosh, we need to get it trimmed. And it's at the bottom of my road. I walk past, I often wave in, so they know us, but she has hundreds of clients. She immediately said, "Hi, Amelie, how are you? Oh, Amelie, your hair's looking beautiful. How's the gymnastics?" And I went, "Wow, you remembered. We've only been there twice before. It's been about 5 years, this hairdresser's." But I was really impressed that she remembered that. And I was like, God, I didn't like hint or anything. She just said, "How's the gymnastics?" As soon as we walked in, "How's the competitions going?" And I thought just that personal connection. So if you build that into your enrollment system, you will find your strength of connection from external marketing into your world. One, they'd be so pleased with your professionalism. Two, that connection will hold strong. And three, you're going to convert more clients. Win, 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 win. Okay, so that is section 1. Any questions on that, guys, before I move on to section 2? Give me some comments. Anything, any light bulb moments that have resonated since I've been talking about why internal marketing is important. I'm seeing follow up on YouTube. Follow up. Connection, going the extra mile. Doing what's hard. Oh, Benji. I think that's Benji. Yeah, Benji. I love that. Doing what's it's not hard, but doing what might be uncomfortable. Sometimes picking up the phone isn't always comfortable. It is going the extra mile. It is extra time to call people, but we're building a business. It's not always easy. It's not there's no traffic on the extra mile, as they say. Go above and beyond. Okay, cool. So that's section 1. So section 2, we're going to move into now reactivation. So as we talked about, the 4 R's that we're going to be covering today and tomorrow are reactivation, renewal, referral, and retention. Okay, the 4 R's. Can't forget that. Reactivation, renewal, referral, and retention. So this all builds into the basics and the fundamentals that I don't care if you've got 1 student or you've got 10,000. These are the core foundations of your business that I see all the time getting completely missed, especially with big businesses, if I'm honest, and myself included. It's harder at times. And what I'm teaching you now, building, if you are a small business, build these now, because it's a lot harder when you've got a bigger business to then build the systems. So when people come to me in the very early days of business, I'm like, I'm so pleased you're here. Even if they don't have the budget, they're finding the budget to get started. You're never going to have the money to get started, whether it's mentorship, new team, new equipment, new venue. But you need to do, what do I need now to build to that next stage? Otherwise, you'll always be in the same position. And you can relate that to every part of your business. So reactivation, let's talk about reactivation. So within your sales process, it's important to have these 3 sections. Now, we build this out through a CRM. We said we will help you a lot with this through our Silver Mentorship Program. But within your sales process, CRM, however we want to build it, and whatever you've got in place at the moment, these 3 areas will help you organize your leads. They will help you, whether it's you doing it or sales team, will help you get organized. Like I said, consistency is about organization. It shouldn't be, well, where are these leads? I can't find them. Of course, when you're building it out to start with, it's going to be quite a big job, depending how big your email list is. But as you're then building through there, you'll then get it organized. Now, I just want to address what I've just said. I was going to touch on this tomorrow, but I'm going to cycle back. There's a big difference between your email list and your customers that are actually interested. So your email list is normally every single person that's ever inquired about your services. Then you've got your actual client list. We actually call it your Dream 1000. Sounds like a plane. Love it. The Dream 1000 is any clients that are very much being nurtured, that are going to come into your world in the next sort of 1 or 2 months. So you should know at any point in your business, I've got about 50 students there that are going to turn at some point in the next 2 months. We're nurturing them. They're coming for trials and we're on them. Okay. That is better and much easier for you to predict your cash flow and much, much easier to predict growth numbers and student numbers in your business than just looking at an email list. So you want to separate them into these categories. So this is your reactivation. Let's say you know they're not going to be a client and they've said, a bit like the twin lady that I've just shared, not right for now, please contact me in 6 months. Perfect. So they will go probably into, we are gonna like reactivate them. We're gonna put them in the, not had a trial column. Okay. Let's say you've had, and you might, excuse me, you might put that person, this depends, these are ideas, you're going to take these and build out your own system. I'm just going to grab a drink, 2 seconds. I have to get through my 3 litres in the day. You will find you might put them in a follow-up in 6-month column, because you kind of want to reactivate the lead, but they've also not been with you. The 3 main ones that you want to be looking at, excuse me, I've got a tickle in my throat now. The 3 main ones you want to be looking at when you're reactivating is the not interested section. So these are leads that your sales team have gone from, okay, they're a new lead, and we're going to put them in we've nurtured them, they're not ready now, they've been for a trial before, they don't want to join, or they're an old client. You're going to put them in they're not interested for now, call back. Next section, old clients. So anyone that has been a client before, put them in that column. Next one, you could then have areas on reactivation like lives too far away, class times didn't work, logistics, financials. You will add this as your business grows. But the whole point of this section is, so many times customers leave and never get asked to come back because we just think they're not interested, they've left. Now, this should be an ever-evolving list that will always be added to if you're implementing external into internal marketing. And the whole purpose of this week, you will never have a dry season where you're like, I don't know where to find my next client. You should always know if you're implementing everything we're going through this week, because you now have the tools. So when you're on this, you may have someone that you think, as you're going through the list, you're also cleaning it up at the same time. So someone might say to you, I've moved completely out the area, please remove me from your list. Fantastic. A no is just as powerful as a yes. You're cleaning up your list. You then know just what I've said about cash flow. What's coming in this month? What's coming in next month? Are they interested? You're much better with a clean list of 30 rather than a list you don't have a clue about that is, say, 200. There's no point. Same with an email list, but better to have a cleaner email list than no one opening it, but you're scared to delete anyone. So you will then clean out that every time you call them. If they then say, oh, my child's no longer of that age, maybe they've maybe moved country, they're now not, you go up to age 4 and they're now turned 6, you will delete it at the same time as you're going through. But believe me, we've pulled at least 5 or 10% of clients every probably 2 to 3 months. We normally do the reactivation every 2 to 3 months, depending how busy we are. We slot this into the non-real. You don't want to be doing reactivation when it's major busy and it's your massive enrollment. This is to fill the quieter times. So as you're going through, you will get a lot of no's. You will. But you'll also get yeses that be like, thank you so much. We were actually talking about that. Or he actually has expressed an interest to come back to gymnastics. So don't forget, because there's money left in your reactivation lists all the time. And if there's not, at least you've gone through, you've asked, you've deleted them, you've moved them to the right column, depending however you decide to set this up. I said, I'm giving you an example. You take what you want and you match it exactly to the way you want to work and your organization. But at least you've called them. You know now that that's not money sitting right there that you could be using. So that's reactivation. We're now going to talk about renewal. So renewal is if you're doing, this will apply to you if you're doing annual payments. So if you're doing annual payments, or if you're doing any like annual registration fees, every model's different. You may be, or you might not be. I highly recommend to be doing both if they match your business model. And if you need further support on that, you can absolutely reach out to us. We cover all of that in our silver mentorship for you. But you want to ensure you are doing your renewal. You are not just assuming. Much of this will be automated, but please just don't assume it's all working and you don't need to ever look at it again. So when it comes to renewing, if you have, I'm going to give 2 examples on here. With your annual payments, number 1, with your annual payments, it would be automated, but ring them up, ask them if they want to renew and register again for a whole year. Don't just assume. I would always have that phone call before processing another yearly payment. Always get in touch, build that connection, check all is well. Renewal on yearly payments, renewal on registration fees. So this is if you charge a registration fee. So I'll give you an example. In our gyms, when someone signs up, we have a monthly membership. They pay a one-off registration fee for the year. It covers their insurance, it covers uniform, events throughout the year. It's a great saver, but it's also a great way to get a lot more money up front rather than spreading it across the year. That is, say they joined on September 1st. Our system would bill them. They joined September 1st, 2025. Our system would rebill them September 1st, 2026. But again, reconnect, check all is well. Check the system is actually renewing that for you. Because believe me, I've seen companies with a lot of members think the automation's in place, think it's working, and then check they've been lost thousands of pounds. It's a lot harder to reboot that and go back and go, oh, I see that it expired 6 months ago. And now they're like, oh no, they decided they don't want to continue anymore. So be on top of your renewals. Now, in terms of your baseline income, so that is whether you're termly or you're monthly. So if you're doing a monthly membership, which I highly recommend, if you can make your model become a monthly model, much better for consistency and cash flow. If you can't, we have models to work around that to still build this in for you. But let's say monthly, you've got your systems in place. It's renewing every single month, but making sure you're on top of tracking the late payments, tracking what's renewing, what's not, where's their problems. The same with termly. Have you got this automated, or are you calling them all to re-enroll for the next term? We actually went monthly about 11, 12 years ago. I did a massive training on this last year, and it was a big deal back then back in the day, to do monthly membership. No one else was doing it, but it was the biggest game changer on our cash flow and our consistency. So as I said, if you need further support on that, please, please, please reach out. So we've covered so far, we've talked about how important internal marketing is, and we've talked about the importance of the enrollment system. We've talked about the importance of reactivation and why in many businesses it is completely missing. And if you reactivate this, you will find some good little eggs that you're like, oh, that one can reactivate them. Even if you do 2 or 3 a month, there are more students coming in without spending a penny. This is how you improve your cash flow. And most importantly, this is how you improve your margins of your business. We've talked about in section 3, we've talked about renewals and why that's important, not just to be on it in terms of automation, but ensure you're tracking your renewals across the board and not just completely focusing on literally just the renewals of your day-to-day revenue coming in, whether it's termly or monthly. Don't forget about the other things that people are renewing every single month, every single quarter, whatever your business looks like. Now, you've heard me talk before we go on to point number point number 4 today. Yeah. Before we got the next one, we're going to be talking about, we discussed a lot about the silver mentorship, and I've pulled that in a little bit in today's training and the key fundamentals of the silver mentorship and the things that we support you with. Yesterday, I talked about our silver mentorship. We've had lots of questions about it, and I just wanted to refresh for those of us who didn't watch day 1 yesterday. This is our first step mentorship with us at Gold Medal Business. It's the place if you want community, you want to be surrounded by entrepreneurs of all different walks of life within the children's activity world, and you want accountability. This is the perfect mentorship for you. It's a one-stop shop, everything in one place. You have Tuesday Q&A with 2 of our coaches who have over 30 years of experience between them in multiple different countries, and you have Thursday training with myself. Within our community at the minute, we have skateboarders, we have basketball, we have football, we have art, we have science, we have gymnastics, we have tennis, you name it. there is a place for you within our mentorship. So whether you have just started your business or you're very established, the Silver Mentorship will really support you with, group calls with accountability. It will also support you with core systems. I've talked a lot this week about core foundations and about making sure the basics are right in your business. This is critical to ensure your business is going to grow. We focus a lot on the core systems within our Silver Mentorship. We focus also a lot, as I said, on making sure you are moving at the speed you need to be. Success loves speed. That's why we have Q&A every Tuesday. We're across 5 different time zones. If you can't be live, it doesn't matter. They are recorded. You can submit your questions over time. I know I had quite a few questions about that yesterday. You can submit your questions and you get them answered for you. But this mentorship was designed to really give everyone access to world-class mentorship and to get started. So you shouldn't, at any point in your business, whether you're brand new or very well established, you never want to go out there and do it alone. You think of it this way. I think to become a British champion gymnast, I had a coach kicking my ass all the time to get me to that level. Learning to drive, you have an instructor. Business is no different. I would not have the businesses today if I've had mentors for probably 18 years of my journey, and the 2 years I didn't were my slowest years in business. So wherever you're at, and if you're thinking, I don't have the money for mentorship at the minute, I don't know if this is for me yet, I don't know if I have the time, this is a mentorship you can build very easily around the time you have in your week to week. But it's a very low cost mentorship to give you the time and to make sure you have the skills and the tools behind you to then move forwards with the support you need in the future. It's 99 quid a month. That is it. Or you pay for the year and it's 1,000. It's that till the end of Jan. And then it goes back up to 149 a month, which it is for the normal price. But you get it for 99 quid a month. That's 2 calls a week. Massive connection to a community, and you get discount on our Hire Our Team, where they are often implementing and doing a lot of our clients' work, implementing systems and implementing processes. As I said yesterday, we have an amazing bonus this week that if you pay in full by the end of play, by tomorrow, that's by midnight tomorrow, you get our VAs for free to help you. That's over about 5 hours work to help you build out your content system and organic growth that we talked about yesterday. That in itself, my friends, is an absolute steal, because that's a good £500-600 worth of work just in itself, if not more. So if you are feeling a little bit like you're inconsistent, you're here for a reason, student numbers maybe not where you want them to be, or you don't have the confidence to put the marketing plan in place and be consistent, maybe you've got a business that's turbulent, you've got inconsistent cash flow, you've got a team that's not working, I seriously would have a look at our Silver Mentorship. I said it's an absolute game changer. You need a roadmap to move forwards. There's so much information out there in today's world, from YouTube to books to podcasts. We are more informed than ever before as a generation. But I see the slowest growth in entrepreneurs these days because they're overwhelmed. Anyone else feel overwhelmed? I've found overwhelmed over the last couple of years at times when there's too much information, and I've refined it and moved things back. But just put overwhelmed. If you feel overwhelmed on with the amount of information, what do I do next? Is this the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Do I hire this person? Am I spending too much money on this thing? How do I market how do I manage my time? I'm in a full-time job, but I'm not sure how to grow my business on the side as a side hustle to grow. We've all got so many questions, but what the Silver Mentorship does is, because it's tailored to children's activity entrepreneurs, it's giving you the roadmap at the stage of growth you need it to be. In the very early days, I made some big mistakes because I was learning from outside people that were giving me advice. All great advice, nothing wrong, just wasn't right for my stage of growth. I was trying to implement something I was trying to implement that I should be implementing probably 8-9 years ago. Okay, because it wasn't specialized to my industry and it wasn't specialized to where I need to be in my level of growth. So, Glia, can you just put the Silver Mentorship link in the chat box for me, my lovely? So if you've got any questions about that, guys, we will stay for a few minutes at the end to answer any questions if there are, but keep sending them in. As I said, we've had lots of questions through Zoom and also through live streams over the last 24 hours on that. So just before we end today, I just want to recap on, I said tomorrow we're going to be doing we're going to be talking about referrals and retention. But I want you to pick one thing that you've learned today or tomorrow and just start working on it. Don't think I've got to do everything. I just want one. Just pick one thing that you're going to make a move on, that you're going to start making progress on, that you think, you know, that's really resonating. That I know there's a hole in my business on that. I don't have any systems or processes around that. And that's okay. Just make a start and put as a goal in the next quarter that little part of the system you want completely set up, and that you can start rolling out, and you know, okay, great, my retention strategy is really strong, or my reactivation strategy is really strong, and I can confidently say that's working in a business. So that is day 2, guys. I hope you found that super valuable and you feel that you've got some real good tangible steps to really know how you can support your business on the front end and the back end, externally, internally, and you have the knowledge and the confidence to start moving forwards, knowing wherever you are at in your business, you have the skills to go, do you know what? Student numbers are low. I've got the skills. Let's work on this. Or student numbers are high. Wicked. What else can we do? Where else can we sharpen our skills? So wherever you're at in your business, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 3. We're going to be moving more into internal marketing and working on the last 2 things of the internal marketing method for you. So an honor to be with you this afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So I'm going to stay on for another couple of minutes, guys, if there's any Q&As. But if you need to jump, absolutely fine. I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care.